Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today, doing I'm continuing my 2022 mid-year top 10s, and this is going to be on the 126-pound featherweight division as we look at the top 10 featherweights in the world right now as I see them. You know, again, this is not official until the year-end top 10s. That's when I do my official ones. But this one is more, dedicated to what's happened in the first half of the year and where I think they stand. But it is based on what my top 10 was at the beginning of the year when I did the year-end top 10. So if that all makes sense. So let's jump right into it. We're going to go from 10 to 1, and we're going to talk about the guys that dropped out first. First of those is Ken Shu, former world champion. He was previously tied for 10th. Just inactivity. He was supposed to fight somebody. He didn't. Inactivity and other guys moving around him caused him to drop out. Hopefully he bounces back. He's an exciting fighter. He throws a lot of punches. Hopefully he bounces back. Also dropping out is Eduardo Ramirez. Ramirez is primarily a 130-pound fighter now, and I think his next fight, God, I want to say it's going to be, I'm drawing a blank on who he's fighting next. I know it's a good fight, though, he's moving up to lightweight and fighting somebody at 135. Again, I think he's fighting Isaac Cruz, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's fighting Isaac Cruz next. That's going to be a good fight right there. So, Eduardo Ramirez is really out of the featherweights now officially. And, he's really a super featherweight to 135 now. So that's why he's dropped out. So now let's break into the top 10 where we're going to look at, we now have a two-way tie for 10th. And first of those is former world title challenger Joette Gonzalez. Gonzalez was previously tied for 10th. He's 1-0 this year. He came back from the loss to Emmanuel Navarrete late last year, and he defeated J.O. Santissima by a TKO in the 9th round. Impressive performance. They went at it. And next, he's already got a big fight on July 23rd. He's taking on Isaac Dogbe in a big fight. The winner is likely going to land a rematch with Navarrete for the WBO title because he's the #1 contender still in the WBO, and he's fighting Dogbe, who is trying to get back in the mix for a title shot. So likely going to earn him a rematch if he can defeat Isaac Dogbe. And to be honest, I think he's going to beat Isaac Dogbe. I think it's going to be a good fight. Could go either way, but I think he's going to beat Dogbe and he's going to move back up in the rankings. So we'll see. Also tied for 10th is contender Michael Conlan. Michael Conlan entered the year undefeated, was the WBA's #1 ranked contender, and had, a great 2 fights lined up. The first was against Lee Wood, and if he won, he was going to land a Leo Santa Cruz fight later in the year for the official WBA title. But Lee Wood, man, Conlan was winning the fight on the cards, and Lee Wood just surprised everybody with a 12th round stoppage. He knocked Michael Conlan through the ropes. Brutal knockout in the 12th. Conlan, you could tell, had run out of gas, but Lee Wood just continues the fight late into the fight. So that derailed Conlan, handed him his first loss, but he's not taking any time off. He's trying to bounce back from that right away. 5 months in between, not even. He's taken on former multiple-time world title challenger Miguel Marriaga on August 6th on ESPN. So I think he's going to beat Marriaga by a decision, but I applaud Conlan for bouncing back from the loss, and hopefully he can get right back in the mix of things going forward. Number 9, dropping 3 spots from number 6, is former champion Kid Galahad. Galahad is the IBF's #5 contender right now. He hasn't fought this year. He's still reeling from the loss to Kiko Martinez last year when he lost the IBF title, and hasn't bounced back. There's been multiple rumors that he's going to be returning, but it's going to be at 130 pounds. But he hasn't made the decision yet on when he's coming back. So hopefully we see him back. If 130 is better suited for him, which I think it probably is, then I think that's what he's going to do, and we'll see him banging out at 130 by the end of the year. Number 8, dropping 4 spots from number 4 is the former 2-division champion Kiko Martinez. Kiko came into the year, really with a lot going for him, coming off his biggest win against Kid Galahad as he captured the featherweight title, and he signed on for a rematch with Josh Warrington in March, and I thought it was going to be competitive again, and it just wasn't. Josh Warrington just absolutely dominated Kiko in this fight, picking him apart, beating him to the punch consistently, and finishing him off with a 7th round TKO to take the IBF title. At 35-36, I think Kiko might be retiring, and calling it a day, but he hasn't officially come out and made that decision next, so we'll see what happens. But Kiko is number 8 still. Number 7, and remaining number 7, is former 122-pound champion, undefeated Ray Vargas. Vargas's moment is here. On July 9th, just over a week away, he's going to challenge for the WBC title against Maxio, and to be honest, I think he's going to beat Maxio. I really do. I see Vargas walking away the WBC champion. I just think he throws more punches. I think he's going to outwork Maxio and take the belt. But I do think it's going to be an action-packed fight, and it's going to be fun, and I can't wait to see it. So, Vargas, we'll see what happens. He hasn't fought this year yet. Number 6 is the WBA regular champion, Lee Wood. He moves up 2 spots from number 8. In March, he had that big win over Michael Conlon, a come-from-behind win. He was behind on the cards, and he weathered that storm and came back. Conlon looked tired in the 11th. He kept pressing, and then he blasted Conlon in the 12th round, finishing the fight impressively. And now it looks like Leo Santa Cruz is next. Right now the two sides are talking, saying that that's what both sides still want. So we're gonna see what goes down. But I'm in firm. I think he's gonna get the Santa Cruz fight. To be honest, I'm favoring Santa Cruz in that one, stylistically, experience-wise. But I wouldn't be surprised if Lee Wood defeated Leo Santa Cruz. Because this guy fights deep into the fight. He's an all-action guy, and I really like that. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens, but hopefully that fight gets made very soon. I think it will. Okay, so number 5 is the now reigning 2-time IBF champion Josh Warrington. Warrington got a crack against Kiko Martinez in a rematch in March, and he took full advantage of it, dominating Kiko. You can argue it was his career best performance, stopping Kiko in 7 rounds. Warrington's never been a big power guy, so that was impressive to break down a very good, a very tough veteran like Kiko and stop him in the 7th and regain the IBF title. So now, there's a lot of talk that Luis Lopez, the IBF's #1 contender, is they're likely gonna order a mandatory fight between Warrington and Lopez. I know a lot of people want to see Warrington and Lee Wood, but Lee Wood is tied to Santa Cruz right now, and a lot of people want to see Warrington and Mauricio Lara. Sadly, I don't think Lara's going to get his 3rd fight, at least not yet, with Warrington. And I do believe it's probably going to be Warrington against Lopez. I would favor Warrington, but Lopez is a tough guy, so you never know. But that's likely what we're going to see. Number 4, dropping 1 spot from number 3, is Mauricio Lara. Lara's the IBF and WBO's number 3 contender right now. And, he fought a guy named Emilio Sanchez earlier this year. It was all action. He stopped him in the 3rd round of that fight. We don't know what he's going to do next. A lot of people, myself included, were hoping that he would land the Emmanuel Navarrete fight, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So, not sure what Lara's going to do. He seems to be getting avoided. He's probably going to have to just settle for some kind of an eliminator or a stay busy fight moving forward. Number 3 is former longtime champion Gary Russell Jr. Russell, in January, his streak ended against undefeated Mark Maxio. Russell came in the favorite, but you can tell early on Maxio was looking good, landing shots, but you could tell Russell hurt himself early in that fight. He really had a hard time throwing his jab. left hand in that fight, and he really closed the gap in the second half of the fight and almost pulled it out. He lost a close majority decision, citing the injury. Hopefully, he said he's going to try to rehab it, but he might have to do surgery, so he's probably going to be out a while. He's still the WBC's #2 contender, but I don't know when we're going to see Gary Russell back, especially when, even healthy, the guy only fought once a year, so we'll see how that goes. #2 right now is the undefeated WBC champion, Mark Maxio. He previously was unranked, so that shows you how wide open the division is, but also how big beating Gary Russell is, even though Gary Russell was hurt, you know, in that fight. Maxio came in, he looked good in the first half of the fight. Russell seemed to injure himself in the, like, between the 3rd and the 5th round. Maxio had trouble in the second half of the fight. He really did. Russell was boxing, you know, with one hand and still almost beat Maxio, but Maxio pulled out the majority decision, got the big win, and now on July 9th, he's got Ray Vargas in a mandatory fight, former champ from 122. I personally think Vargas is going to win this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Maxio pulled out the win, even a knockout. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on July 9th on Showtime, just over a week away. I'm really looking forward to that fight. I'm picking Ray Vargas, but again, I won't be surprised if Maxio pulls it out. And still #1 is the reigning WBO champion, Emmanuel Navarrete. Has not fought this year. The fact that he was a promotional free agent, I think, had a lot to do with that. Still doesn't seem to have signed anywhere, but on August 20th, he's going to be making an optional defense against Eduardo Baez, a veteran. Baez is not a complete pushover. He's only lost a couple fights that have been close ones. To Rais Salim last year at 122 pounds. He lost a 10-round majority decision in a good fight. And then he lost years ago against Mauricio Lara in a 6-rounder in a close fight. I went back and looked at the scores. All 3 judges gave Mauricio Lara that fight by 1 round, by 1 point. So this guy's tough. Baez is tough. He's coming in against Navarrete for the title. I think Navarrete is going to dominate, though, and do his thing and win convincingly. But, you know, don't count Baez completely out. The guy's a tough guy, and he's used to being the underdog. But Navarrete, that might be the only fight we get to see him in this year, which is sad, unless he can get a bigger kind of showdown in December or something like that, bounce back on a 4-month layoff. So we'll see what happens, but that's it. That's the featherweight mid-year top 10 at 126 pounds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.